journey in Bollywood is not even started right now. It is something which is going to start on the 12th of July. Uh, I've shot for two films. First is Super 30, then we are here for Family of Thakurganj today. And both the films are releasing in a span of 1 week. So 12th of July is Super 30, 19th of July is Family of Thakurganj. So yeah, I feel really fortunate, really grateful, really lucky that ऐसा हो रहा है मेरे साथ, because being my debut in the film industry and being the debut with two films back to back, I think that's the luckiest that anybody could get.
Great. Can you tell us about the character in this family of Thakurganj?
Well, in this film, you would see a boy who is very simple, very grounded. He knows what he has to do in life. There are times, there are phases where he's getting vulnerable. Uh, uh, he's getting confused about what is happening around him. There are a lot of things happening in the film. सिर्फ फैमिली फिल्म का नाम है फैमिली ऑफ ठाकुरगंज, बट there are a lot of external factors that are affecting this family, and because of that, how he's coping up with everything, with all the external factors, with whatever is happening within the family, he's coping up with that. Plus there's a love interest, love angle that is happening with my character, which is with Suman, which Pranati is playing. And there's a relationship with his elder brother, there's a relationship with his bhabhi, with his bhatiji, mom, and whatever, in whichever way the family is getting affected, he's getting affected, obviously, because he's a part of that family. And how he copes up with everything and keeps the family together is a journey which my character follows in the film. And with the help of obviously all the other actors, such brilliant actors in the film, and everybody has a journey that they've traveled. But I feel Manu's journey in the film is something that you would love to see and you would fall in love with.
Okay. And how Manu is different from Nandish in real life? And how did you prepare for that role?
There's a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference in what Nandish is and what Manu is, and first of all, geographically, it's a different space altogether. वो यूपी में based है, so the language is a little different. जो body language है वो थोड़ी सी different है. Manu is playing a, a teacher, a professor. So you know, I've never taught in my life. I had no idea. I was only watching a lot of people or taking references from my memories from childhood, from school and college, to understand how my teachers used to behave, and keeping in mind the backdrop of Lucknow and UP, around those places, keeping the dialect in mind which was supposed to be used. और हमारी घर में छोटा है बड़े भाई जिमी प्ले कर रहे हैं. सो कीपिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन माइंड कि वो कैसा बिहेव करेगा एक छोटे भाई की तरह, ये सारी चीज़ें जहन में रखते हुए आई जस्ट वेंट ऑन विद रीडिंग द स्क्रिप्ट ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन. फर्स्ट टाइम दैट आई रेड द स्क्रिप्ट, कीपिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन माइंड, I missed out on a lot of places, and then I read it again. I kept improving. So when it was the fifth or sixth time when I read the script, keeping all these factors in mind, then I thought, no, now I'm on track. And that's when people who were helping me develop the character also, they said, now you look like Manu. That Nandish from Manu is disappeared now. Earlier there was a lot of Nandish in Manu. Now that is not there. So then I was satisfied.
Any memorable moment while shooting the film, like with your co-stars, anything you want to share?
There have been a lot of good memories with this film, and a lot of them have been to do with my director and producers, because they were very fun to work with. Of course, the cast was superb, and I was learning a lot from Saurabh ji, from Jimmy bhai, from Pawan sir, uh, from Mahi, uh, from my co-actor Pranati. There was a lot of learning, but my good memories I would credit to my producer and my director, because producer made sure that we were comfortable and we were having a good time, and uh, we were relaxing after shoot, and they were giving us a good time there. So and they would come and talk to us. We would sit together. We would have fun. It wasn't like a strict environment. And best thing is that we had no breaks. Literally, hardly. As actors, we might have had probably 2 days in between when we were not shooting. But the unit has shot without breaks. In spite of that, finishing the entire film, keep making sure the director making sure that we were all happy, finishing shoot, coming back, sitting with us, talking to us, having meals with us, and prepping us for the next day. He's put in a lot of hard work, along with the producer, and I think we have some great memories because we were having a ball of a time when we were there, and that all credit goes to the producer. So
You want to name
Ajay ji, Ajay ji and Prince, they've done a superb job in handling the entire project, and we've had some amazing laughter sessions with Jimmy Bhai, with Mahi and Saurabh ji. We would just crack up on the sets, and there was no reason for doing it. We were just having a good time and being in our characters when the camera was on, and when the camera would go off, we were just having a ball of time.
and lastly, if you could tell us about your upcoming projects.
Well, I won't be able to talk or name the project right now because it's in the process of getting locked. But there's something interesting that is coming up, which is going to be very, very different. The role is going to be very different from what I've done in Super 30 and Family of Thakurgan. So this here, it will be a completely new avatar that you will see.
Thank you for talking to us.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Hello, 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 hello. Are you on? Tell me, about your journey. You are new, by the way, but still you have a journey, like from India's Next Top Model, and so many things you did. Now this film. So tell us about your journey first.
So for me, being here has been quite a journey. It's been a very step-by-step process for me. I started my career with Miss India, which happened when I was in college in my third year. And after Miss India, I had to get back to college, resume my studies. I was studying fashion design, fashion communication, in fact, but fashion studies for people who are not like very well aware of different branches of fashion studies. So yeah, and then I was doing styling for my graduation project and internship, and I love fashion. I love everything to do with fashion, glamour, entertainment, camera, and that's how I started. And I used to participate in a lot of college festivals. That's how I kind of it helped me groom my personality more, and know what's happening around and how things are, and just be like fashionable and nice and smart. And yeah, and then Miss India happened, which was a great exposure for me, a great platform, because after that a set of auditions started. And when you start your auditions, like you must have heard like in the news. Okay, I'm giving like a detailed detailed journey. Okay, so yeah, they're like auditions, and you go to them, and it's very important to go to the right ones to meet the right people on your journey. And because of Miss India, I got the right platform, I met the right kind of people, and I was on the right track, I guess. And then after my graduation, I felt like I really need to give full time into acting and modeling, because that's what I really, really wish to do, because I can always get back to fashion and always get back to fashion styling whenever I want to. And I didn't sit for my college placements. I graduated with great grades. I was also a college topper in my first, second year, and somewhere like in top five till my third year, till Miss India happened, after which, like, of course, I started modeling, so my grades were affected. But yeah, then the journey starts. In my very first week after graduation, I got selected for India's Next Top Model, and this was a very interesting story in itself. I had recently shifted to my house, and my flatmate asked me ki, hey, why don't you go for this pageant, for this competition, India's Next Top Model, and it's got this wild card entry, and send your pictures there. And whatever, I figured it out. I sent my pictures on the email ID mentioned on MTV, and I got into INTM. INTM was, again, I went with, so every time I start something new, I don't really think a lot, how I'm going to go about it. I don't plan things. I like being spontaneous, because I think when I'm spontaneous, I'm just very true and it gets out the best of me. And when you plan things in terms of, I don't know, in terms of anything, I feel like there's baggage, there are expectations, you have to reach that certain level. I'll probably start planning if I feel like I'm not good enough being spontaneous. But that's always an option. But yeah, so I just went there to the house and I met a bunch of new people, like the 13 of these models, all from different cities. And I like being around people. It's never been like I want to stand out. It's because you end up standing out when you have a good personality, I guess. You will just stand out in your own way. But the idea has always been to belong to people, to make people like you, for people to love you. And that's something that this field has got to do with. When you're an actor or when you play a certain character, you want people to connect to the character, be it a villain or be it a hero. You want them to want to watch you more, want to basically just watch you more and know you more. And well, so INTM was that, and then I had multiple modeling challenges, and I was very focused. I think I've always been disciplined and focused, and it's very important to save your energy and put it into the right things. And I was only using my energy in the right things, I guess. Like I stayed away from the house politics and these trivial fights and everything, and that helped me win the show. Yeah, and I also got a lot of popularity and love from people around, especially like the masses, all of these teenagers and even their parents. Like a lot of the girls are like, दी आप INTM से हो ना, पता है आप मैं आपकी बहुत बड़ी fan हूँ, पता है मेरी मम्मी भी आपको बहुत प्यार करती है, please आप मम्मी को hi बोल दो. Even boys do that. So that's very overwhelming, that you're adored by people, and not just like those people, their parents also. You feel this sense of belongingness, which I guess I always thrive for, because I stay here alone in Mumbai. My father was in the army, so he was always traveling around, and yeah, so I am alone here. So it's always nice to get that warmth and love from people. You just go to a new place, and it's not like you're a stranger, because people know you, they watched you somewhere. And most of the people knew me as India's Next Top Model Season 2 winner. So that's something very precious that the show gave me. And after Miss India and India's Next Top Model, I modeled extensively. I worked for Lakme Fashion Week, India Bridal Fashion Week, did campaigns for Manish Malhotra. That was another one I was very happy about, and I flaunt. And yeah, because I love his collection. And while modeling was happening, and then I did this show called India's Next Superstars, which is 2017 September, November-ish. And from I think November to February, we were only doing these acting workshops, staying in a house. Again, a similar setup, but a way more difficult setup than India's Next Top Model, because I think INTM was so much about challenges and about modeling competition, really, unless like you yourself started a fight and got into things. But in INS, India's Next Superstars was like a proper big boss sort of a setup, where like we were monitored extensively, like not extensively and intensively, and like in every way. Like we had these collar mics, and if you think कि हाँ रात में ना मैं mic तक के नीचे छुपा दूँगी and then I'm going to talk whatever, because unfortunately, so when like so many people stay together, it was somehow that I liked everybody in the house. I had no problems with the people in the house, but you want to sometimes just bitch about the organizers maybe, because you don't like them. So you can't even do that, because the mic is there and they're listening to everything. They try to hide, but there were microphones next to the bed, so we were basically like monitored all the time. Then yeah, but that was the first time, I was among a set of actors who, some of them had a lot of experience, and I learned so much. And for me, I feel like naturally I have this inclination towards acting, and I feel like I'm natural in my ways, in my conduct. So acting kind of happens. I just imagine things. and I put myself there. I believe I'm that person, and I just do it. So that's a little bit of acting, but I had never learned acting as such, or never like trained in the craft. So that was my first exposure to acting and actors and scripts and things like that. Though I had done TV ads before, but again, TV ads are more about selling the product, where you just like laugh and you're like da da da. It's about your energy, how well the owners feel like, or the the company feels like you can sell the product. But acting is a very different thing altogether. So there, I actually learned so much about acting. The workshops there, and we were performing in front of Rohit Shetty and Karan Johar so every week, and that was such a great opportunity. And we would get different scripts, get to play different characters. So after INS, I realized that there are a lot of things that I could actually learn, and I had the knack for it. I could learn it really well, and I could actually get so much better at acting. That's when I joined an acting course. So I joined Jeff Goldberg. I studied method acting, the 3 months course there, and a lot of things that I felt like I already knew about, were just explained in better ways, so I could implement it better. And I'm still like carrying that diary of mine. So I have this diary, acting diary, come like my personal diary, where I have everything written. And then while I was doing my classes, so I would like go audition, do the class, go audition, get back home by like 9, 10. So this was like this long phase of life where I was, not long phase, like a few months. Yeah, and of course, before that also, I was auditioning for TV ads, and everything was happening like that. I was learning a lot, trying to give my best, learn every day, be better than before. And then this project happened, and I landed up with Family of Thakurganj. That's my story so far.
Okay, and between you did Poison as well.
Oh, yes. So I actually shot for Poison this year itself. But it released earlier. But Family of Thakurganj is actually like my first project as an actor, like a bigger project, like when it comes to like a Bollywood debut, and that's huge, man, like a dream.
Pranati, talking about this Thakurganj movie, like if you could tell us about your character, something about your character, like what kind of character it is and how different it is, from your real life. Real life is different from the real life. Like Pranati is different, how Pranati is different from the character which you are playing in Thakurganj, and how difficult it is for you.
So, when I heard the story, and it's a very different setup from what my normal life is, and hence the character also is very different. She's not a model, she's not an actress, she's not staying in a big city like Mumbai. She is different. She But I think some things that we share in common, there are a lot of things. So basically, when you approach a character, you do like a analysis. You do like I do that. I write like similarities and differences. Me and the character. My character is called Suman. So I did basically that entire study. That's just like while you prep for the character. So you asked me about talking about the differences between me and the character. Firstly, I think. I don't know if that differences really. I think every character has some essence of you, and how my approach towards acting is, when I'm given a character, I feel like because I've lived these years of my life, I'm sure I can derive some character from some place. I just need to say magnify that emotion. So when it comes to Suman, she is from Lucknow. She is independent. She's a girl with big dreams. She's not someone who just wants to get married and settle down. She wants to have a company of her own. She's driven. In a way, I've got this wonderful dialogue written by Dilip Shukla, sir. And I relate.